and the CBS Sports Radio Network. The best in sports online, on radio, and on the air. CBS Sports. Expect it here.
They have come from all across the United States and brought their rabid fans with them. 32 teams reach Lincoln, but only 2 remain. We are all set for a very unique experience. The best of team bowling on the collegiate level is here. We welcome you to Lincoln, Nebraska, inside Sun Valley Lanes for the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Men's Team Championship. McKendree's Bearcats and the Robert Morris, Illinois Eagles. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. What a matchup this is. Robert Morris, Illinois has been #1 all season long. What an outstanding team. But McKendree, they've got purple power on their side. Let's figure out how these teams got here. For McKendree, they knocked off Fresno State, a past champion, 4 out of 5 in the semifinal. And Robert Morris, Illinois, and Weber International, the defending champs from 2012, hooked up in a memorable 6-game match. Robert Morris advanced, as did McKendree. And now, let's meet the teams.
From Lebanon, Illinois, the McKendree University Bearcats, coached by Dennis Knepper. And from Chicago, Illinois, the Robert Morris University Eagles, coached by William Clark.
And once again, I'm delighted to be joined by Chris Barnes, PBA Tour star, and a man who's bowled in this event before as a shocker of Wichita State. This Robert Morris team is arguably one of the deepest in the history of college bowling.
Well, you have 2 current Team USA members. You have a load of junior Team USA experience and a wealth of collegiate experience as well as accomplishments. This team is loaded from top to bottom.
So, how does Purple Power with McKendree, how do they overcome this?
Well, they have to do it the way they got here, through emotion. They have to be able to stay calm a little bit at the beginning because they like to ride really high, but they can stay at that high level. If they can get a little early momentum and stay at that level, they have a chance to keep up with this team. They know how to strike.
And if you haven't seen team bowling before, you will see emotion. And when we get back, we'll get this party started.
X-Bowling.
There's the scene inside Sun Valley Lanes, just outside the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. The McKendree Bearcats, coached by Dennis Knepper in his 5th season, and William Clark in his 1st season as a team ranked #1. And here is that Robert Morris lineup: Jacob Kent, Dominic Partapillo, Kyle King, Matt Gaston, and Marshall Kent. Might be the top bowler of all the men in college, but McKendree counters with Riley Smith, Dylan Polanski, Billy Netzhammer, Darren Dunning, and another stud in A.J. Johnson. These 2 anchors are incredible. Chris, what are we bowling on?
Well, we're bowling on a 45-foot pattern. The volume's medium. It's about 24 mils. And what we're going to, their players start out lining up here, and they're going to move into this range, trying to get the lanes to break down, create a little more area. And I expect big scores, even in this Baker format.
Explain those numbers in just a second. Okay, now the numbers on the jerseys as Riley Smith gets it started signify the frames the bowlers are going to be in. That's the Baker format. So you see 1-6, for example, on Jacob Kent. I'm sorry, this is Riley Smith right here. Jacob Kent for Robert Morris means the 1st and the 6th frame. So Riley Smith now steps up. He'll be wearing 1-6. So 2-7 signifies 2 and 7. 38, 3rd and 8th, and so on. And 50 is your anchor bowler, the 5th and the 10th. So after Jacob Kent's rather explosive start, let's see what Riley Smith can do. Wide right. Yeah. I don't know if that's a break or not.
No, not really. It actually makes the spare harder. If he hooks at it, he can hit the left side of the head pin and miss the back pin. He's only trying to get it to about there, and it went flying by. I got about 3-4 right of where he was trying to get down lane. Obviously didn't make it back.
One of the other fun things about college team bowling is the emotion from these players after virtually every shot. 16 teams went through sectional play, 16 games of Baker qualifying, and then best of 7, double elimination, just to get here to this final match.
It's got a hook.
Wow.
Well,
that's how you cover up. That's a beautiful. You seemed skeptical when you saw it go off his hand, though.
I didn't think it was going to get enough of the head pin. You'd like to at least hit the middle towards the center. Like the ball hit both pins, ideally.
Dominic Partapillo from Aurora, Illinois. Both these schools from Illinois. Now might be a good time to mention that every player on the Robert Morris roster averaged 205.8 or better.
Considering the difficulty of the patterns they bowl on throughout the year, the number of games they bowl on a particular pattern before the lanes are redressed or re-oiled, quite an accomplishment.
So there's Dylan Polanski. They call him Depot. A little light there. Leaving it 2-4-5. Bears may not cut it today.
Boy, not very many of them. If you're going to leave them, you better leave them all in a row and then put a bunch behind it. Looks like while the pins were dancing around a little bit, it separated the 2 and 5 pin a little bit, making this more difficult than it normally would be. Perfect.
Yeah, sure. The spare making strong. And there's Barney. Now, Barney the Dinosaur has a special relationship with these players. The last player to make a spare holds Barney. They don't transfer among strikes, and if you miss, you don't change Barney. So at the moment, Barney belongs to Don Polanski. Whatever it takes. As you said before, and you've said 1,000, you don't mess with karma. Here's Kyle King, a sophomore from Glendale, Arizona. One opponent that not even Robert Morris can handle, a stubborn 10 pin.
See, his ball crossed a little bit left of there. It moved left of 20. Ball did not pick up quite enough. It deflected as it hit the head pin because it's still trying to hook. 6 pin went in the flat gutter, and result, a little flat 10. Kyle King, one of those 2 members of the Robert Morris team that will be at camp with me at Team USA.
Yeah, it listed as one of his highlights. Not necessarily being at camp with you, but making the team. Although I'm sure that's all gathered with that answer. So how about some keys to victory for these teams?
Well, there's a couple of sets here for sure. For Robert Morris, ultimately they want to stay in the moment and focus on execution, but really they just need to be themselves. They are the best team. They've proved it. All they have to do is do what they normally do. For McKendree, they need energy and emotion, and they have plenty of that energy and emotion. They have to build it up a little bit here early, get themselves under control so they make good shots, and then build on it once they get going.
So here is the senior from Alton, Illinois, Billy Netzhammer. He's at 4 300s in his career. Pulls to third in the 8th frames. Leaves a bucket. Is there an issue with the right lane, do you think? If they're just not able to get off on it?
It sure seems like the right lane is tighter right now. For McKendree, it's certainly an issue. They have not gotten up to the head pin yet. It's been the first shot you can't tell. It was right of target the whole way, but these last 2 they didn't seem to dislike. And you'd have a 2-4-5 and a bucket.
I'm always fascinated by the side conversations from the other team. What could they be talking about?
A lot of it does depend on the team, but they've been pretty consistent with Robert Morris, talking about staying in the moment, staying here, not looking ahead, not looking at winning, just throwing the next shot.
Well, he can certainly make spares. McKendree, none of those were easy, and they were able to pick them all up. But they trail by 16.
When you got a guy like Doug Kent, it's a PBA Hall of Famer back there in your corner, knows about handling situations, being in this moment, and what can go through your mind. And there's a lot of things that can. He'll help keep this team where they need to be in, focusing on the goals that they can control.
So Barney gets past one more time. And here is 10-pin punished by Matt Gassett.
Junior Team USA member, not hard to see why here. Great pistol game, crosses 23. Watch the head pin. Did not take very long at all to come across and knock out that 10.
Here's a player that we really enjoyed watching in the qualifying. Darren Dunning, double D, senior, out of Chicago, political science major. And this is where you start talking about some of the emotion of these athletes. You're going to start seeing a lot here real soon. Crossed into the, one more? No. Crossed into the nose that time, left with the 10-pin.
These first shots are awfully hard. Your teammates aren't helping you here by not making great shots. Right through the nose. 3-pin goes to the flat gutter. 2-pin actually comes across. Knocks out the 6 for only the 10-pin.
Interesting note on Darren is while he's a senior at McKendree, he's planning to go to grad school at Lindenwood University, where they have a strong bowling program. We may not have seen the last of Darren Dunning when this tournament concludes. So he gets Barney. The problem is Barney's being passed around more often than a bad penny, as the expression goes, and they need to put Barney in a bag and leave him alone and start throwing some strikes.
Yeah, Barney's going in a suitcase somewhere. Cement shoes is where that one needs to be seen for them to get back in this one.
Would you like to see somebody who's going to be dueling Chris Barnes on TV one day? Could be this guy. Marshall Kent.
Marshall is the exception to the rule in college bowling. Typically in college bowling, you have to have you'll have the most powerful strike ball. The guy that create the most area will end up being the best bowler. He's just the best shot maker, and even with a rev rate that's in the upper middle range of the whole group, he's able to separate himself out by a large margin through shot making and versatility. Rare to see someone at 21, 22 years of age be able to be this good of a shot maker on all levels.
And now A.J. Johnson, probably the MVP of the qualifying rounds. He was spectacular when McKendree needed him most. Like that. And there you see what anchor bowlers do when their team needs them. McKendree may be down 27, but it could have been worse. They call him the Shark. A.J. Johnson comes through big, and Barney does indeed get put away for a shot or two as McKendree comes up with a strike they absolutely had to have. The winner will take in the Helmer Cup. It's a battle of all Illinois. McKendree and Robert Morris will continue with this match. Number one, you got to get 2 points to be a national champion. There's the situation after 7 frames. Robert Morris of Illinois, the #1 ranked team in college bowling, on top of McKendree. And joining us now, Dennis Knepper, the head coach of McKendree. What are your thoughts after the first 7 frames?
I think we missed a move. We need to move a little bit right, or slow the ball speed down. We're a pretty high ball speed team.
Yeah, how much difference is there between the 2 lanes down there?
There might be one board. This just seemed to slicken up faster than what we're used to. So.
And the right lane tighter for you guys?
Yes.
Anybody making any adjustments there at the end? I saw AJ making some moves.
AJ made a move. We're actually switching balls, and I might even switch players next game.
All right. Good luck, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, very much appreciate that. And that is one of the things he knew Spots 4 and 5, actually spots 3, 4, and 5 for McKendree, they knew what they were going to do. There was some thought that they may move the top 2 spots around if they felt like they had to. And they may. Here's Kyle King. That's Coach's Rookie of the Year. See why. And the high fives in men's bowling are violent. The women, when they do in the women's team bowling, a little gentler, a lot of high 10s, but these guys just, I'm amazed that we haven't seen a dislocated finger yet.
Well, the unmentioned key to victory is put your left hand up.
Yeah, but we'll have to start watching that. So now for the senior, Billy Netzhammer. Big moment here to try to give McKendree a ray of hope. Good ball. 10 straight back. Well, if you're looking for up-to-date bowling information right at your fingertips, check out USBC on Facebook. Get all your bowling news, photos, and videos on your favorite website. Go to facebook.com/USBC and click on like.
McKendree still has a 229 possible score.
Here's this academic junior bowling sophomore, Laurel, Maryland's Matt Gasson. Stubborn 10 pin.
And Robert Morris is on a 227 pace, so we're not done yet.
One of the things we've seen a million times, Chris, over the years we've done this event, one frame, when you least expect it, changes a match.
McKendree has their best 2 players coming up next.
It's open.
Well, you just said it, and 9 splits are the worst.
I would imagine that's a stomach punch as much as anything else.
Chris Galver, this team doesn't miss very many single pins ever, and the miss one in this spot now has turned this thing completely around to where now McKendree could strike out and shut Robert Morris out. It's not even in their own hands anymore.
No.
Huge shot right here, though.
But you've got 2 incredibly capable bowlers who in the day prior in the final matches, Aaron Dunning and A.J. Johnson from McKendree repeatedly hit big shots almost every time.
Tough spot for Darren. His last shot went high.
Not that one. Not that one.
Huge turnaround.
How about this little battle we're about to have in the 10th frame between these next 2 bowlers? Well, now. It's your serve, Marshall Kent.
Still up by 6.
Yeah, he got the kick.
Little shooter's touch right there. Ideally, you'd like to have it rolling through there. Watch the 6 pin as it goes to the gutter. Just leans on the 10, and a pin actually hit the ball in the back and came forward and finished the job.
That's all Marshall Kent has done the last 2 years. Coach's most valuable player and the IBMA Bowler of the Year. Okay. And he's going to force McKendree into 2 strikes at least.
Not a bad safety net to have the best shot maker in college bowling waiting at the bottom.
And the best part is he's coming through. That's what I love. They need him. He knows it, and he's doing it. Okay. 2:23. 2 strikes and a 5 count will do it. And if you want to see some emotion, J.J. Johnson pulls that off. But first, he's got to get the first strike. That's exactly what the Bearcats need to win. You get 2 points, you win the Homer Cup and are national champions. So this is 2 strikes and 5 pins to take that first point. He came in high. He came in high. It was there for McKendree, and just unable to take advantage of it that time was Johnson.
Trajectory-wise, that actually looked okay, but sure bit up early.
Not happy with that shot at all. You could sense the disappointment in that throw. Robert Morris takes the first point. They need one more game, and they will be national champions. Both these schools seeking their first ITC title in this best of 3, the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Men's Team Championship. Robert Morris, Illinois is halfway home. Competition between these teams is vicious. No, not at all. This is what was going on in between games. First off, the pink pants speak volumes. So everybody can get a good smile in addition to the great bowling. No lineup changes. We had heard a little bit of a hint that McKendree might make a change, Chris, but they ultimately decided to stick with the same 5.
Solid finish down at the end. I think everybody kind of made the adjustments and got lined up.
Now they change lanes. And here's Riley Smith, one of those players who made a big adjustment on that right lane from his 1st and 6th frames. No. Again, just to remind everybody, the numbers that are pinned to the players' shirts represent the frames they bowl. So Riley Smith will be up as the leadoff bowler, and he'll bowl the 6th frame, 2-7, 3-8, 4-9, and the anchor bowler wears 50.
And that was considerably deeper than what he played on the right lane. 2 to 3 boards at the arrows. Now, I would expect as deep as Robert Morris played on that lane, they'll have to chase a little bit left. Interesting to see if Robert Morris can make the move quickly on the right lane.
Hang on. This is a problem McKendree had early in the first match, was falling behind and just getting into it. They almost got all the way back and actually had a chance to win, but still, how many chances do you give the #1 ranked team in the country and expect to get away with it?
By not taking advantage of that first game, really put yourself in a hole having to beat the best team twice now.
Jacob Kent. And he'll have some work to do there with that 2-8.
This is where their communication is going to come into play. If they can make that move fast, I think the right lane is going to be the tougher lane, but they're going to have to make the moves fast and not have, repetitive 2 or 3 shots in a row where everybody goes light and does the same thing.
Good spare making so far in this match, but I just say that realizing they've had a missed 10 pin, but before that, both these teams very solid.
Making the hard ones.
Yeah, we've had 2 single pin spares missed in this match, but the so-called more difficult ones, these players have handled well. Dylan Polanski. I thought that it was going to come in a little high, but no.
Looked like it stopped just in the nick of time. Goes to the next frame. He's going to have to make just a little bit of a move here. Across the 16th arrows. It looks like it's high right here. And just lays off. Big shot for him. Should call for about a 1-0 move in the next frame. Dominic up next. His 2 shots. First time around were both perfect. Kind of adjustment. Jacob passed to him.
A perfect adjustment. The 8-pin threatened to ruin it, but down it goes. The North Point Junior Gold Championships will take place July 13th through the 19th in the Detroit area. The top youth bowlers in the nation will compete for $250,000 in scholarships in 4 age-based divisions. For more information, please visit bowl.com/juniorgold. There'll be some incredible bowlers in that event, I'm sure.
It's an amazing field that turns out year after year. Over 1,500 kids now bowling in that every summer.
Billy Netzhammer. Leaves the 4.
See the shot go just a little bit high. The 2-pin going right around the 4. 2 boards high at 60 feet.
And if you think this is torture for Billy, he wants to get a master's degree. That'll be the torture in his life, not this. That's just attacking the 4-pin. So Barney gets passed along to Billy. And here's Kyle King, the Rookie of the Year. Marshall Kent, the MVP from the NCBCA. And Mike Kubacki from Calumet College of Illinois. So Illinois has got some staggeringly talented college teams. Calumet was at the ITC, knocked out early, but they're always in the ITC field that I can think of in recent years. So Kyle King, the Rookie of the Year, showing anything but rookie ability.
Yeah, that's man-sized game.
You know, oddly enough, and I'm assuming this is just a coincidence, he lists one of his favorite movies as 300. Which should have been a bowling movie instead of what it was, but some other time.
Turned out just a little bit better than Kingpin.
Here's Double D. Got a big strike that set the table for McKendree to have a chance at game 1. They were not able to take advantage of it. They needed 2 strikes. He walked away from that one, not happy. And the rack got there to that 6-pin before the pin that was on the ground did. A very expressive player there, here, Chris, but this expression says it all.
Yeah, hoping for a little help there. For all the great shots we saw, that was not among the collection.
No worries on that 6-pin. That'll bring out Matthew Gasson.
Up 22 already. This is a chance to really put the hammer down. Give yourself some serious mistake room coming down the stretch.
which they probably won't use, but you never know. I mean, they made a big mistake late in match number 1 and gave McKendree the chance to steal the first game.
Turns out he's going to need his thumb hole. He left it in his spare ball after the last one. They switch it back and forth so they can have the same feel in both their strike ball and their spare ball.
And the result. Pitts took a beating on this one.
These guys have all made the adjustment a little bit right. Head pin goes to the wall, but by the time it comes off, everything's gone. 5 pin sent over and cleaned up pretty much anything that could be standing.
A.J. Johnson. He had the opportunity to give McKendree a Game 1 win and came up empty. See how he rebounds.
He was the catalyst in Game 1 to get him started.
Wow. And he dialed back a little of that emotion, too, that we've gotten used to seeing him display.
Watch the 2 pin. Gets stuck in the gutter and almost gives a stone 7. A little low key for AJ.
It's a lot low key for AJ. That's not even close.
Not sure that wasn't a good time to really let Robert Morris know he was still in the building.
Well, he let the pins know he was still in the building. Here's Marshall Kent. You don't have to say it more than once. Come on, Marshall Kent. Sure, no problem. We are halfway. Can Robert Morris continue this pace? Because if they do, they'll get the second point. Robert Morris style for the first time. Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln. The expression goes, ball don't lie. And here, the score doesn't lie. Robert Morris has strung together 6 straight to take a commanding lead. And if they win this game, they will be, for the first time in school history, national champions. We're joined by the head coach in his first season with his team, William Clark. And William, have you just sort of sat back and had a drink and just enjoyed this?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on right now. So, but it's been enjoyable. The whole trip has. The whole journey this season right till now. So, got a few more frames left to fill here, but we're going to do everything we can to take it home today.
Coach, this is your chance. You can talk about how much you've helped Marshall Kent and how instrumental you've been in his development.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
No, that's a great throw there by Billy. I think Chris is just pulling your leg about coaching Marshall Kent.
Oh, yeah, well, listen, Marshall's such a good player. He's got so many accomplishments already. It's just trying to make sure he stays out his own way and just goes up there and makes the shots he knows he can make. So there's not much for me to do most of the time other than keep cheering him on and trying to get him to just stay in the moment.
Well, sometimes that's the best kind of coaching, just letting your athletes play. Coach, we thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Okay.
Here's Kyle King. McKendree's throwing 2 outstanding shots, their last 2, but this bunch here. Just insane right now. Just insane at the moment.
That great shot by Kyle King. I mean, they still have an opportunity to shoot 290. The most McKendree can shoot is 228. Robert Morris on a 250 pace.
That's a bad break there. So the Boebert math tells you that it's just about over for this one?
It's officially over.
Just McKendree
in theory,
bunch.
Robert Morris
Yeah.
only has 200, so
Right.
McKendree can shoot 207.
Well, the McKendree bunch was fun to talk to when we had a chance to meet with them after they earned their spot in the finals. Loose bunch. Talented bunch.
And Darren was about as much fun as any of them. He's a character.
Well, you know what? If he does indeed go to Lindenwood and goes to grad school, we may see him back in the gold of Lindenwood. What's impressive here about Robert Morris, sometimes in college sports teams are #1 the whole year, and then they get to that moment and they can't come through. You cannot accuse Robert Morris of that here. So the 290's out the window. Interesting thing is here, do you go ahead and let Marshall Kent bowl out, or do you bring in a substitute? Since you've won the match, do you give somebody another opportunity, or do you go ahead and let your man close it out? A.J. Johnson, and he's just a sophomore, by the way. So you're looking at two absolute stud anchor men coming back. And here's what we're talking about. One of the nice things about in this situation, the coach is going to go ahead and bring in one of the substitutes. This is Richard Ahrens. There you go. He said being in this event is his bowling career highlight so far. He's a senior. That's a nice gesture by the coach. I really like that. Giving him the opportunity. The crowd here, the fans in purple on their feet, cheering on the senior. And this would be a great memory for him. That's how you do it. What class by the fans here and by the coaches for McKendree to give him the opportunity. A.J. Johnson's got a lot of shots left in purple, but not Richard. And Marshall Kent will at least throw this ball.
There he goes.
Handshakes and hugs and congratulations all around. We'll see what the strategy is here for Robert Morris, but the #1 team in men's college bowling has come through in impressive fashion in this second game. The first game is the one that McKendree will go back to the hotel and realize was the one that got away. Unexpectedly, they didn't think they were going to get the chance.
No, it looked like they weren't going to have any chance at all, and got some opportunity, and they had a chance with their best player up to steal one.
Somebody needs to finish this out. Chris, you want to grab a ball there and fill the 10th?
I'm a little out of eligibility.
Plus, your equipment's not even here, so we'll let it slide today. Aha. Cameron Weir will get the opportunity. Or Cameron Weir, pardon me, will get the opportunity.
He played a huge role yesterday, threw a lot of big shots in the Weber match.
And, all right, well, at this point, it's all for fun now.
Tough shot to throw after not throwing a ball for about 45 minutes.
He's supposed to travel around the world and bowl. He says, doesn't have any professional ambitions. He's supposed to travel and bowl. Nothing wrong with that. They've done it. Robert Morris will be #1. They take the Helmer Cup back to Illinois for the first time in RMU Illinois history. What a performance by one of the deepest teams in the history of men's college bowling. The Hall of Famer hands out the championship T-shirts, and the Helmer Cup will go to Illinois. It was going to go there anyway, but it's going to go on the campus of Robert Morris University. Plenty of future professionals on this team, and they are the champions in Lincoln. And here they are, the winners of the Helmer Cup. Robert Morris, Illinois. They were so ready, they brought the T-shirts with them. Scott Stone, why don't you bring the Helmer Cup in here for the champions? For the first time, it's going to go to Robert Morris, Illinois. What a performance by this team, taking the 2 points. And, Coach, first game was tough. I mean, it was almost out of your grasp. The second game, you just stepped on the gas.
Yeah, the first game, they just kept putting it to us a little bit. You keep working hard, and I thought maybe there in the 10th that AJ might step up and steal that game from us, but we were fortunate enough to get through that one. I think after that we settled down a little bit, and once we settled down, we just made some really good shots that last game, and we did hit the gas pedal and put a really nice game up on the board.
One of the finest teams in the history of college bowling right here. Robert Morris, Illinois, taking the Helmer Cup here in Lincoln. And as we leave you, let's take one more look at the champions of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Championship. Christina